Hello everyone, this is Sonali. Today is our day 4 for interview brainstorming session, and we are having co-host with me as a Manoj and amazing speakers like Naresh, Saurabh, Pradnya and Rupa. Welcome all of you. Let's start our today's session. So I will ask first question to Pradnya.
Okay.
Okay. So the scenario is a company is moving to AWS for the first time. Means the company want to migrate fully on AWS. Then what is the AWS security best practices would you recommend for identity, encryption, and network security? So, so you have to explain these three main important things. So identity, encryption, and network security.
Okay. So as this is something the new setup. So considering the first point, which is related to the best practices, which comes first is the identity. So I will explain first about it. So, in as a part of an identity, as the AWS is the cloud platform which has been chosen by the customer. So, the identity services like AWS IAM we can use. So, with the help of AWS IAM, we can assign. Like based on the roles which are required. So in the short, I can say the right roles to the right peoples, so that the access granularity as well we can ensure, and along with that the least privilege access, which is one of the best practice which we need to follow as a part of identity management that we can achieve using the AWS IAM. Along with that, while implementing this, we need to ensure that the multi-factor authentication is in place and that has been enabled for all the users. The one another point, considering the identity, which we need to consider is use of the root account. So in the AWS, the root account which we have, so that we should use only while the initial setup itself, so that we need to ensure that the process has been set, and accordingly the access has been provided to the users. And along with that, from the identity perspective, I would like to add that the IAM policies which we have. So based on the company requirement and considering the best practices, we should perform the regular review and the update of those IAM policies, so that we can ensure that from the identity perspective, all the points and the compliances we are meeting based on the requirements which we have received from the customer. The next point, like from the encryption point of view, so for the storage services which we will be implementing and configuring for that, we need to ensure that encryption is enabled for the storage services like S3 buckets, or it might be the EBS in the AWS. So we need to make sure these things. Along with that, we need to ensure that whenever where the S3 buckets are configured, for that the public access from the access from the public networks that has been disabled. So these points we need to consider, and along with that, the AWS key management as well we need to consider as a part of encryption, so that so that the key rotation that should happen based on the requirement. The last point, considering the network security, so again the inbound traffic, so that should be as per the specific requirements which we have, with the help of security groups and the network ACLs, I can see. And the other security features like configuring the web application firewall for the public facing applications and workloads which we have, so those we need to consider. And for the network firewalls and overall for the network and all the critical workloads. Uh, so for that, we need to enable the logs. So the flow logs for the VPC and the subnets we have along, we need to configure, and for the firewall as well. So all these points will cover the part. If we consider, then we can achieve the best practices based on the identity, encryption, and the network security. So this is all from my side, Sonali.
Yeah, very good. You covered all the point. So, which is more mainly focus here in identity means IAM service. So, if we talk about the identity, then mainly we have to focus on how we can provide the least access for the users or whoever want to, we have to give the access. For that purpose, instead of creating a separate users, we can create a role and we can assign the custom policies for them also. That also we can do. We can create a custom policies according to our requirement, and we can give a list access to them. So we can maintain their high control in our hand, and we can maintain security over there also. You also talked about the encryption. So we can enable encryption for S3 bucket for storage with the help of AWS KMS service also. And we can make sure that we can make a security in bucket level also and object level also. That also we can do it. And if we talk about the network security, so there also we can create a private subnet, we can create a separate VPC. So by creating a separate VPC, by creating a private subnet, and if we access the storage through the VPC endpoint, that is also best thing means that we are not going through the public network. We are accessing all the things through the private network within the AWS network only. So these are the main key points we have to keep in our mind while understanding this scenario, while giving the answer of this scenario. This is main important point. So thank you so much. We'll go ahead with the next question. Yes, Manoj?
Yeah, Sonali, I'm going to ask this question with Saurabh. Hey, hi, Saurabh. And today we will discuss this question. Okay. And here we have our client. They need to prove their audits and everything, like login, who is login from where, like that things to the auditor, means who are coming to check that audit. Okay, then how you do this and how you achieve these audits to pass without any issue using CloudTrail. Means you need to use CloudTrail, and how you will make the all these logging will be in the storing in some places.
Okay.
Yeah.
So first of all, it means that AWS CloudTrail is a key service to prove the compliance during the audits. So basically, it's records all the API calls, their user activity, and their the IP address across the
Yes.
AWS account. So
Yes.
by enabling these services, the organization can capture the details like who made the changes and what action was performed, when it occurs, and from which IP. So these are the log are stored in the S3 with encrypted with the KMS key management service, and also integrated with the CloudWatch for the monitoring. So what we take with like example, like the if the auditor asks the who terminate the EC2 instance last week. So this audit trail services will show the exact IAM user, timestamp, and their IP address. And so this method ensure that gives that accountability and the support the audit requirement in the organization.
Okay. Yeah, this is very good answer. You cover all the key concept here, Saurabh. That's very good one. And I just want to add some more things here. Like we know API calls means through the GUI and CLI, whatever work we are doing, all those are happening through the API calls. It will backend, it will connect, and it will check, and it will update. Like that, it is happening. So we can use those API calls, and we can collect the logs through the API calls. Means in the cloud trial, we use this API calls. Means who made this API calls from console or CLI, SDK, or AWS service. We capture those API calls in using cloud trial. Okay. Then we will include who made that request, and from where it is coming, from what action it is performing, and what it is happening. Like that task it is capturing, like that. And here we will for example, I can say like IAM admin modification policy. Means using that one, we can use a spinning, like who started EC2 instance, or who stopped EC2 instance, who terminated EC2 instance. Like this logs we can collect in the cloud trial. So for the auditors, so we can prove that, like this, so we can prove. And also this covers all admin actions. Okay. Means we can enable this cloud trial in the organization level. Means in AWS we have one option like organization. So if we enable there, then whatever AWS account we are creating under that organization, we can capture all those logs. Means who create, delete, update the operations and resources. Like that also we can collect from here. And also we can track that management event and also data event in the S3 bucket, and also Lambda. There also we can do that things. And also we can do this cloud trial as a centralized. Okay, in one place we keep this cloud trial, and from there we can sent all dedicated secure S3 bucket with encryption, and all the data into the we can store in S3 like this. And also we can collect those data from all the AWS accounts. And also we can do this reporting for the auditors. Okay, basically this cloud trial lake or Athena queries we have. Okay, that one we will give to the historical logs to the users. Means what they did and when they did. Okay, and we will using these things we will generate audit report basically. And we will show that how and we will show the proof, like how it is happened. And if any issue we caught, then we will get the understand who will done what, so that we will easily identify, and we will fix those issues in our future also, like that. And also we will include here compliances, alignment, and other stuff also we can do. Yeah, like this we can use this cloud trial for this audit purpose, and also for our organization improving purpose also. Yeah, you can go with next question, Sonali.
Okay, thank you, Manoj. We'll go ahead with the next question. So next question I will ask to Rupa. So the question is, your company needs to store a sensitive user data in Amazon S3. How would you ensure the security, encryption, and access control? So there you have to create, you have to store data in Amazon S3, and there you have to keep in your mind. So you have to think about the security, encryption, and access control while storing your data. So yes, Rupa.
Yes, sure, Sonali. So as Pradanya told, firstly, we can secure our S3 bucket by encryption method, either by enabling with the AWS KMS method, that is key management service, or by using customer managed keys, so that we can by ourselves rotate those keys either quarterly or half yearly or yearly basis. And then the third method is by enforcing the encryption with the help of bucket level policies, such as, for example, we can use secure transport to set our Boolean options to be true, and set the AWS server-side encryption as KMS or CMKs. And the next thing is using IAM configurations for specific IAM rules or for specific AWS services. So for which we can access that bucket, and using the bucket policies with IAM with a very restricted which are restricted at VPC endpoint levels, or which are restricting the particular IP ranges, and using multi-factor authentication as well. And also we can disable the public access at account level or at the bucket level. And lastly, using monitoring and auditing services that is enabling the S3 access logs or CloudTrail, which tracks our data events. For example, whenever there is a get object or a push object, put object calls. And also we can use CloudWatch alarms for any unusual activities. For example, any downloading of large amount of data, and if there are any policy changes, for that we can use CloudWatch. And for example, for a healthcare kind of applications, as I had explained before, we have to store a large amount of files or data in S3 under HIPAA compliance zone. So firstly, we would create a dedicated S3 bucket with SSE KMS enabled encryption using either CKMS, and then restricting again those accesses via VPC gateway endpoints, so that the data never left the AWS our private network, and then enabling the monitoring tools such as CloudTrail. So this would be the setup for S3 for the S3 buckets related applications.
Okay. So you explained a very detailed way all the points, whatever we have to focus on, like security, encryption, and access control. So you explained all in detailed way. So yes, that was the perfect answer for this scenario. So we'll go ahead with the next question. Yes, Manoj.
Yeah, this time I will ask the question with Naresh. We will discuss with Naresh. Hi Naresh. So we will discuss this question, and we have one fintech company. Okay, and we need to make their database secure and scalable on AWS. Which services would you prefer to choose, and why you will prefer those services?
Okay.
Yes.
Fintech company means it deals with money transactions, customer data, and compliance.
Yes.
Then we have to choose secure, scalable, and highly available database.
Yes.
That's why I will go with Amazon RDS with Aurora. Why? Because it is a managed service, like AWS handles backups, patching, failover, and Aurora is faster and auto scales storage up to 128 TB, and it supports encryption, and we can deploy in multi availability zone deployment for high availability, and it provides security features like AWS KMS encryption, like data is encrypted on disk and no hard-coded passwords we can do. For example, when customer transfers money, Aurora can quickly handles thousands of concurrent requests without slowing down the database. That's why you can go for. Otherwise, we can go for Amazon DynamoDB for high-speed lookups.
Yes.
For example, it is fully serverless, no SQL database. It scales automatically and perfect for transaction logs or real-time fraud detection. And millisecond latency even during traffic spikes, and security features encrypted by default, fine-grained access control with IAM, and real-time monitoring of suspicious activity. For example, for this, we can take if we have 10,000 users, if they want to check their wallet balance at once, all of them at once, DynamoDB responds instantly without affecting any main transaction database. That's why we can go for this database. Otherwise, we can Amazon VPC plus security groups, because databases are placed inside private subnets, no public internet access for that, and the security groups acts like firewall. Only app servers can talk to DB. Additional network ACLS for extra network layer security. For example,
Yes.
even if someone gets AWS account access, they still can't directly connect to database unless allowed by the security group rules. We have to
Yes.
provide them using
Yes.
security groups. We have to use AWS Secret Manager to hide our database passwords, API keys securely, and rotational credentials automatically,
Yes.
and it integrates with RDS and Aurora directly.
Hmm.
For example, instead of putting the database password in code, we have to put the secrets in AWS Secret Manager. It fetches it securely at runtime. And
Yes.
AWS CloudWatch and Guard Duty. Why we can use this? Monitors queries, latency, CPU usage, and detects suspicious logins and strange query patterns. Sends alerts to security team. Like
Yes.
this, we can use.
Yeah. Yeah, you cover most of the points like DB perspective and security and also networking point of view. All those things you very well you cover. And the only one thing I can able to say here, like when I'm giving the access control, just I will authenticate for access for RDS. There is no static as you mentioned. We are using the rotate the same way we are applying, and also I will restrict this DB access in the private subnet. And as we know that we can enable the public access through NAT gateway like that. If there is any requirement, then I will give that NAT way gateway I will set up, and we can give the access to DB. And also I am doing this minimal privileges I'm giving for this role based database account for access purpose. And also as you mentioned, we are storing this secret in the secret manager. The same way we are storing this rotation DB credentials also there. And like the same way as you mentioned, very elaborated way, the same things we are doing here as a part of this use case. That's it from my end. Sonali, you can
Oh,
proceed with next.
sure, Manoj.
Yeah.
So now, next question I will ask to Rupa. Your
Yes.
question is: Your security team detect unusual activity in your AWS environment. How will you investigate and respond and prevent future incidents using AWS native tools and services?
Yes, firstly, we need to investigate, as you told. So, firstly, we'll use AWS CloudTrail to check if there are any API calls made. And we use the identity, user identity, and what happens at what timestamps. We need to check first that. And also, we can use Amazon Guard Duty to identify if there are any threats, and there are any misused IAMs or any of the unidentified API calls that are made. Then we can check certain VPC flow logs, and if there are any, and also we can check AWS CloudWatch logs for if there are any unusual inbound or outbound traffics configurations made. And if EC2 instances are involved in our applications, So we can use AWS session managers instead of using direct SSH or RDPs. And finally, as a response or prevention, we need to immediately revoke the misused or the not used IAM credentials, and by deleting those, or either by rotating the keys half yearly or quarterly, and then isolate our affected network, or isolate our resources in with protecting it with security groups. And also we can apply AWS WAF and network ACLs rules to block such kind of any malicious IP address that are hitting our applications. So yeah, this is pretty much about the security detects what we can follow.
Okay, very good. So here you talked about how can we check the incident scope or identify. So for that we can use Amazon Guard Duty. So that we can check alerts for miscellaneous IP, or is there any IAM key is compromised, or unusable API patterns is there. So that all the things we are going to check over there. So we can use AWS CloudTrail also. We can use VPC flow logs to inspect the unusual traffic patterns, like unexpected outbound traffic is there, or any foreign IP is there, like that. So, and we can do S3 access log also. We can check there also. Is any mass download or deletion is there? So from all the things we will get to know about the scope of the incidents. So from that we can take the action. So for that we can isolate the affected resources. We can tag affected instance and resources, or we will review their IAM roles and what are the active sessions for suspicious credentials. That all the things we will do. So for the recovery, we will patch and rebuild compromised resources from trusted AMIs or IC templates. We can rotate, as already you discussed, we can rotate the access keys. So that all the things we are going to do. In the S3 also, we are enabling the versioning, or we whatever the we are having backup RDS snapshot and S3 versioning. From there we can take we can restore our things. So that is the main important things. And for the prevention, we will enable multi-factor authentication with IAM users. And so we can give list privileges for the users, or if there is not a privilege, means if there is no need to create a user, then we can create a role for temporary use purpose, and we can give the particular permission for the particular person to the roles. So we can do that also. So that we can maintain our security in high levels. So these all the things we are going to answer in this scenario based question. So yes, you give a very detailed answer about this scenario, Rupa. So thank you so much. So if someone don't understand how to give the answers of like these types of scenario based questions, first they have to understand the scenario, what exactly scenario, and by understanding that scenario we have to divide that scenario and you have to give the answer. So, and if you need any help, you can feel free to reach out to us. We are giving our details on below in the description also. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Thank you all.